he was like,
Yeah.
light versus dark, and if light doesn't step up pretty soon,
Yeah,
you
I
know,
agree 100%. Yeah,
yeah,
this is biblical. And plus, it's Easter and
yep,
Passover week on top of that. And the red pills are coming at you like, woof, woof. So I certainly agree with that for sure. And the energy is so different. Also, it's spring finally in New York, and
yep.
I'm starting to see some signs of life.
You're right. It's been dark there for a while, huh? Wow.
Talk about dark winter. It probably wasn't darker anywhere than in New York City.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree with that. LA is pretty dark, but not nowhere at that
Yeah,
magnitude.
you guys still have the sunshine. It wasn't just, it was
Sure.
so, and plus the abuse that our
Right.
governor and our mayor and just rubbing it in our face. It was just so ugly. And then there's so many people here who are stuck in the matrix and refuse to leave.
Yeah.
That's the funny thing I'm getting more and more is the more educated in terms of the Ivy League or that kind of the elite, the New York elite, the more
Lost
stuck
they
in the
are.
matrix they are. It's incredible.
Yeah, Dr. Jerry Rivera Duhanio, who we had on our show a couple weeks ago, he's the guy that invented the Rasha coherence technology, and he says that it's and Huna's talked about this. It's basically a lack of what scientifically he calls them introns, but it's basically your latent DNA just will not turn on. So those
Right.
people are all stuck in that left brain
Right.
intellectualism, and they're so smart and they're so trained and they're
Yeah.
so. I went to Harvard, right? And it's
Right.
like, no, dude, you're like stuck right below 200. You're not even at the line of integrity. You haven't
Right.
even figured it out yet.
Exactly. Exactly. And there's just a concentrated amount in New York City. Except when I went down to Palm Beach to see my parents after 11 months, they made out like bandits down there. Palm
Yeah.
Beach Island is hopping.
Yep.
So,
Yep. Michael and I, we were in Fort Myers. God, time is flying. Almost a month ago now. And other than being in the corporate establishments, there's no masks down there. People don't
no.
give a shit. It's only the corporations that are enforcing it now, right?
Yeah, well, it's the corporations because they're owned by the cabal.
Exactly.
It's getting very clear. How'd you guys feel yesterday about the Satan sneakers?
Unbelievable.
I got a lot to share. I got a lot to share. We got to compare notes and just catch up. It's and like yeah, so certainly support each other with more light and vibration frequency, magnetics, and just jazz it up more,
Yeah.
bring it more. But yeah, the Satan thing. Come on, you know. Anything that can be programmed can be reprogrammed, right? They use the same techniques, the same. I was just sharing with brother here, Jay, that it's technical support and knowing how to utilize the technicalities of you call ceremonies, I call protocols,
Right.
and there is sacred. The intentions can be sacred, right? And the intentions can be whatever they are, whatever creation allows, right? And it can be dark and it can be light, right? And the dark really pushes us to bring the light out. It's been pushing for that last little bit of light to come out, right? So,
Yeah.
and my understanding, it's just on the ground and on your daily and your weekly and your monthlies and your ritual, your practices that when you're making your prayers and your meditations, you're bringing in the technical support,
Yeah.
being all of what you bring in spiritually, energetically, and electorality, all of it, right?
Yeah.
So when we kind of compare notes and share things and see where we connect on, and if we can, certainly for those who are watching our audience, and thank you very much for bringing your presence with all the people who follow you to perhaps connect with them in these ways and start putting things together.
Mhm.
We're at it's a very incredible moment, of course, but also very, the pressure's on, right? The pressure's
Yeah.
on, right? I don't mean like negative either, but also the positive pressure is really high too.
Yeah.
And so sharing that as well. I have asked Mark Atwood and also Tom Numbers, so just waiting for those guys. And Huna Mareka, which is David Mahoney. He's kind of traveling right now, but he's going to try to jump on.
Oh, great.
And that's kind of why I've asked and for this little catch up. It won't be that little, though. I don't think it'll be so little. I think we've got a lot to talk about here. Outside, not so much about what we've typically been speaking about, but I think as we can sew and thread everything together and share what is coming to the ground in terms of the light, I think that's what people are waiting for.
Yeah, for sure.
Looking for that. And so it helped them connect. We just said hello. We've got people from Washington State. So good morning to you in Washington.
Hello.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning in Alberta, Canada.
Depending on where you are.
And in Naples, Florida, we just came back from Jay and also Mel. Got people from New York, people from Singapore here, and Germany. I mean, Nashville. This is so incredibly global. It's just wonderful.
It really is. Yeah, I keep telling people, stop focusing on, these times. It's not about America. It's not about the UK. It's not about, the location. It's about the entire planet. This is an international, I hate to say it's a war, but it's a war, a spiritual and intellectual and a information war. And that's the hardest part, I think, for people is understanding, trying to let go of what they're holding on to and try to, focus on the future in terms of dark to light. And it's really getting there. I feel like, oh, look at who it is.
Hi, Tom.
Hey, Mel.
Hi.
Hey, Huna.
Hey, brother.
Hey,
I'm going to be
Tom, how you
mobile
doing,
for
buddy?
our Zoom.
Cool.
Nice.
Bringing in
Nice.
some
Who
nature.
else is with us?
This is Jay Campbell from
Hello, Jay. Hello, mate.
Nice to meet you, Tom.
the
Nice to
Optimized
meet you too, buddy.
And Jay Campbell and raising the vibration. And yeah, hey, thank you for bringing in the nature.
Yeah.
Oh, that's all right. I'm here in the park and enjoying it, yeah.
Nice. I was going to be at the beach and do this, but I thought that would signals.
I was planning to be back home, and then it just got. I was like, oh, okay, I'm here. I better do it here. So, yeah.
Perfect.
I'll try and find a quiet spot. Who is Mark joining us? Is Mahoney joining us? Or just the four of
Mark,
us?
I just got a message. Mark can't make it, and Mahoney might pop in. He's on the round.
Okay.
He's doing work.
Cool.
He's creating funds.
Cool.
He's self-funding today. All right.
Is he?
Yeah.
Cool. All righty.
Yeah, it's been a minute. It's been a minute that we have spoken, and so much has transpired, multiple dimensions, of course. And so, thank you for joining me here at this light table. And my hope is to just share and catch up and see where we're connecting. I think we're all in sync, pretty much. I mean, Jay was just saying he was at, I've seen his photos. He was at Machu Picchu. He was up there at 18,000 feet, I think he said. And I just came back from 13,000 feet, and so we're synchronizing there with the joy and the connections to the land, water, and the sky. And I've seen Mel's been really busy, very active. She tried to rest. You tried to take a break for a minute. It's kind of not gonna
It don't work that well.
Not gonna happen. Yeah.
Dad, we're in a war. You got to get up and keep fighting. Put on the armor of God and keep going forward. That's every day.
Yep.
So much
That's
light.
it, girl. You got to go for it.
There's so much light in action, and I see Tom. You've been really active too, huh? Making your presentations and your new product. So that's fantastic. More light in action.
Oh yeah, you saw the product, Huna, did you?
Yeah, just we need to put that on our link here. I'm very slow at putting links on, guys, so I apologize.
Me too.
Awesome.
I will put a link on this that we're moving here.
Thanks, buddy.
Absolutely. So let me just begin by I would like to just speak to the Stargate 17, seeing some back from it, and see how that connects with you and what you do. Because I'm sharing this when I go do ceremonies. For me, it's not just ceremony. I do say ceremony, but it's also protocols for me. And then there's about knowing the technical side of these ceremonies and protocols. So I've been calling it technical support. But when I go to do the prayers and I go to the place where you connect, and I speak to the ancestors, the celestial elders, the ascended masters, if you would say, and everyone in the planetary community. What I share, my intention is to be supported, to be fully supported, right? So I call that technical support. Now, that also means you guys are the technical support. We're like the technical support for each other. And I am for you. There has been so much confirmations of people, a lot of people seeing me and meeting me in their dreams. In other words, this expansion of the fractal, the expansion of your fractal, of your energy, so far in the field that it's going right into people's journeys in their dream time. And people, like for instance, someone said to me, "Can you help me with my dog?" This was a few months back. My dog is sick, needs help. Can you come and help me? So, okay, you'll come and visit. So I'll go and in the journey time, I just lay down. All I had to do was lie down. And my first instance, well, I'll just have an image of the dog in my mind. And then I went to sleep. I woke up the next day and, just a normal morning for me. Which sometimes is 4 a.m, by the way, or a lot of times. And then I get a call and the person is really, really happy. And the dog is jumping around, all energetic and everything. She said, "Thank you. Could you tell me what you did for that?" And I said, "Whoa, I just laid down and went to sleep." That's all I did. I had the picture of the dog in my mind. So I'll just send this dog some love. And then I laid down and went to sleep. That's technical support.
Right.
And that is being felt by many in their dream times. And so, are you experiencing that connection? Is my question for people who are watching. And are you connecting? Are people calling you back like you were in my dreams? Not just because they're fascinated by you or just adore you, but there's action, and everybody adores Mel. So here you go.
It is the year of the dream, Huna.
Yeah.
2021, so 20 plus 21 comes to 41, and the word dream comes to 41. So we are in the year of the dream.
Fantastic.
That makes perfect sense what you've said.
I've been dreaming for years.
I'll tell
But
you
every
one
year's a
thing.
dream. But we are definitely in the year of the dream this year for sure.
We're connecting, yes. And so maybe you can share if you've had these connections, and we'll further go deeper into this technical support side of things.
Yeah. I'll tell you one thing that's been happening. You and I have been trying to connect, you and Huna and me. And it's so weird because I'm a very closed, not closed. I'm a loner, I'm a loner. So I don't really talk too much or talk, on the phone or whatever, but I'm trying to get better. But I'll tell you something, when I am very down and I feel like I can't do it anymore, I swear I get a text from Huna. And then I feel better.
Awesome.
This has been going on for the last 3 weeks. I swear. And then I'm like, I'll be in touch. And then something comes up, and it's just the fact that he's thinking of me, and I feel like his energy, it makes me feel better. And that's really truly been happening. And every time that we don't connect, I'm like, no, it's true. And every time that we don't connect, and then I'm like, oh, I wish we connected. And then I'll get like a happy text from you, and I'll feel like, oh, thank God. It's very interesting, but it's truly happening. I'm not even close to making that up.
And that's part of kind of what I share is when your vibration, frequency, energies, and your magnetics is being coded into the land, water, sky. Doesn't and of which feeling the love. You can say that. Yeah. I like to share the details of this because of this technical support. also helps to bring awareness and awaken the people through not so much the intellectual side of this, so much more in the cosmology of things. Now, scientists, they don't want to talk about cosmology. For the longest time, they just say cosmology's smology. You know, it's the story, and it is the story, which is your education and your lifetimes of training and education as many beings that you have been, and you have been. You cannot deny what you know now is what you've been trained to know, what you bring through now is what you've been part of your history, right? It's okay to receive it. You can let go of the emotions through the dragon energy and allow the dragon energy to come to center. But you know, to see it and take that knowledge and the wisdom and then applying it and applying it in a way where your energies are in the field, right? We can say these overarching terms, love and light, and well, love and light, I say the greatest love of all. Light, the greatest light of all is here now, absolutely. And so the cosmology, talking about it this way where we connect, because we have this universal story and we have this planetary story, and we truly are stargates between heaven and earth. We are truly bringing through, you know, anchoring that light in, and how each of us are doing this. And so I know you've all been busy. Love to hear more about your, I suppose it's a bit personal, this conversation. It's a little bit more personal, huh?
Yeah. Well, I'll speak if I can volunteer. You know, like Mel, we have a pretty big community of people that are looking for, you know, external saviors, right? And they're constantly coming back and forth saying, you know, when is so-and-so going to happen? And, you know, when are the good guys going to win? Or when are the white hats going to ride in? And, you know, it's important, especially for folks like us, you know, who have a lot of people who are looking up to us, you know, to allow them to understand that the focus has to always be on the self. And, you know, putting anything to the external is really just kind of giving into a lack of control. And because as you guys all know, the only thing that we have control over is ourselves. And, you know, that's why, you know, the meditative practices, the prayer, you know, the inner work, the mindfulness training, the stuff that I do with that absolutely ritual focus day in, day out, you know, like I literally came from there to this. And I do that no matter what. You know, I've been traveling the last 3 weeks. I'm finally home, thank God. And as soon as I get off,
where is home for you, Jay?
I'm in locale. So I lived in Los Angeles for literally about the last 23 years. And my wife and I and family, we left and we moved down into the wine country of Murrieta, which is about 55 miles south of Los Angeles, about 40 miles north of San Diego. Beautiful, 1,800 foot elevation, you know, in the mountains, see the mountains every morning, see the inversion layer from the Pacific coast coming in. So it's absolutely gorgeous. You know,
is it just above Hawaii and Rancho Bernardo?
Yeah, exactly. Literally. Yeah, perfect.
I used to have an uncle over there, so I've been to that area.
Yeah, you know exactly. I'm about 32 miles north of there.
Okay.
So,
awesome.
and maybe even Poway, maybe even less, maybe like 27 or something like that. But it's just it's God's country. But you know, to that point, each of us has to focus on doing that on a day in and day out basis, regardless of the external and the noise and, you know, what may or may go on. It's about, you know, as Huna said, communing with the greatest light and greatest love of all, which is all around us. I mean, you know, Huna was talking about the hummingbird. You know, Huna, Robert Stanley was over here last week and, you know, we were in my backyard. It was right before I left because we flew out on Wednesday and it was Tuesday afternoon and him and I were talking and we had 3 hummingbirds just out of the blue fly up to us. And you know how they play their dance, you know, do their dance. And Robert was like, shh. And I was talking because I was talking to him. I wasn't paying attention. I was talking to him and he was like, shh. And I was like, and then he's like, he grabs my shoulder. And and they were right there, like literally right in front of us. And we both just were like, holy moly. And just, you know, total silence. And then he looked at me and I looked at him and I was just like, we hugged each other. It was like such an amazing experience. And then literally within 30 seconds of us hugging each other, getting back into the conversation, one flew back and just made its like, you know, final farewells. Like, hey, we're here. We're paying attention. We got
you. Back and say hi. Yeah.
It was It was unbelievable. I mean, literally, we don't have in my backyard, all the time hummingbirds, and they
It's
just
so
came out of
funny.
nowhere.
I was
Oh.
just talking to Roseanne. I'm very good friends with her. She had the same thing happen with hummingbirds in her backyard in Hawaii. I swear she
Wow.
just told me this last week.
That is amazing.
Isn't that
That's
crazy?
amazing. Yeah.
Wow.
Well, so my wife has always told me that hummingbirds are angels and that they are always indicative of a loved one that has passed, paying attention or, essentially from an essence or, standpoint, still being with you, and that they come and go. And she's sworn that since her mom passed like 9 years ago, that whenever she needs assistance, a hummingbird will show up.
Wow.
And it's kind of like that tap on the shoulder, like, we got you, we're paying attention. So
there's that connection. Now, hummingbird is my birth sign, as I've shared. I'm with the Lemurian calendar, meaning, if I can share, and maybe Tom can jump in some numbers after this, but the all throughout Gaia, the feminine was rising. And as we come into the completion of the Mayan calendar, which was March 8th, 2021, that's actually when it all full stop. 2012 to 2021 was that whole period of compassion. We called it the DC, the dispensational compassion. So it took all that transition period, and everyone, many go, oh, what do we do at 2012? Now, what are we doing now? Everybody went into this one consciousness, because, it kind of just snapped everybody into this moment to focus in on each other. Whether it's is this the end of the calendar? What is this about? They got the date wrong. Is it the wrong year? Is it the wrong timing? What it did was brought everybody into that moment to focus in on that. Then what came was a lot of sharing on the spiritual realms and dimensions, everybody connecting, and a lot of compassion started coming through, right? It moved all the way, in my understanding, up to Stargate 17, which was March 8th, which was a continuum. We call it the continuum. And that's when we're saying it ended. And this is what David Mahoney was, and they brought his film crew with him to speak to this transition, right? And so, as the feminine was rising, that completed. She has arisen. The feminine and the masculine are in divine union. It is available, even more available now than this understanding than ever was. Your partnerships, yourself, the divine union with yourself, not just human, all beings, all star nations, as we know. There are many star nations on this planet. There are trillions of star nations on this planet and have been for a long time. Okay, so Gaia, in my understanding, is risen, and it is no longer Gaia anymore. And I've been sharing, this is planet Huna. Huna means one light and many lights in one. It means light in action. And we are speaking to all this light in action that's been taking place since March or end of February, right, 2020, till now. And the switch over and the handle from Gaia up into Huna, meaning if you said light in action in any other language, you're still saying Huna. In the Lemurian language, to say light in action, one light in many light in one, you say it in 4 letters, H-U-N-A. That's the code of light in action. Maybe Tom can do some numbers, but my point is we are in that. We're connecting, and the hummingbird, having just come from the hummingbird stargate, has been programming, recoding, and through the assistance of the Lemurian calendar, reversing what has not served us. Is reversing it, helping to lower the magnetics of the emotions, so we can come to the zero or to the center, it being masculine and feminine, coming to the center, where this is now available. And so April 1st, now I go from that understanding to April 1st, because for me, April 1st, and this has happened 3 times. This will be the 3rd time. April 1st has always been an upload. April 1 is an upload to the consciousness of what am I talking about? This, what I just shared, plus so much more being uploaded into the consciousness. And then on April 2nd, coming down on the ground, being anchored into the DNA, being anchored into the land, the water, the sky, and all of your all your intentions aligning through that upload, connecting. So I've always spoken of this as, it's an April Fool's Day. Great. They've given you that. They shared that with you from since you were young. They said, like, April Fools, everybody's playing a trick on each other, right? Because if we're talking about this being the Matrix and a play and a movie, right? We're all just playing tricks on each other, right? So April 2nd comes down, and then truth and reality arrives, and it's like, who's the fool now? Who's the fool now? What does that mean? I'm talking about receiving everything, beginning to receive. We start this new light of receiving, and that's what I look forward to. Maybe dates for what you're going to receive on what day. That's open, right? That's still open to the discovery. But we're in that movement, as far as I understand it. And so
you said some great numbers there, Huna.
Okay, great. Let's let you go here.
So, well, following on from what Mel said and what Jay said in regards to the hummingbird. So, did you say Roseanne's in Hawaii,
Yeah.
Mel?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Awesome. So hummingbird, I did the numbers on hummingbird. So humming comes to 85, which comes to storm, comes to silver, comes to blackout, comes to matrix. And you just mentioned matrix just a moment ago, Huna. And then bird comes to 33, which comes to the word the, also comes to dawn, also comes to gate. You add them together, you get 118. So the storm, the hummingbird, the storm, hummingbird, the matrix, the silver, the blackout are all 118. 11 times 8 is Trump, 88. Also, I've mentioned before my cousin Paul that passed in 2015. His date of birth was 118, so January 18th, and he's a big part of this. So it's interesting how Jay was saying that there were 3 hummingbirds, and then one of them came back for a final kind of hello and goodbye. And the dissolving of the matrix, you said about new light, the first light. So April Fools comes to 123, which comes to silver plus gold. Silver is 85, as I said. Gold is 38. If you take it further, we'll see what happens. But April, 1st of April, or first light. Let's do first light. So first light comes to April 1st, because light is 56, which is April. So first light is 1st April, or April 1st, which comes to 128, which comes to Independence Day. So perhaps there's maybe a physical, conscious, or spiritual Independence Day on April 1st. If you say 1st of April, comes to 149, which comes to inauguration. 107 has been talking about 107, talking about perhaps, some form of confirmation of an inauguration at that time. Maybe, like you said, Huna, maybe it's a little bit, the dates, maybe it's not then. We'll see what happens. Another value for 123, which is April Fools, is also April 10th. So April 10th comes to 123. So perhaps then that's also a Saturday. And I do like to use movie themes for my numbers. And I've spoken a lot about Back to the Future. They go back to 1985. They have to go back to 85. 85 is humming, is storm, is matrix. Something else as well that came up was the value for Stargate. So you said Stargate 17.
Yeah, 17.
The word, yeah. So 17. The word 17 comes to 109, which comes to Zapruder, comes to my channel. Interesting enough, which is Sight Club on YouTube, PSYCH, next word club. Comes to Diana Spencer. It comes to Saturday, and you've got the whole thing of going back to the future on Saturday night. Doc says go back, back to the future Saturday night. But if you do Stargate, we said before, Stargate comes to 91, which is POTUS. It's 58, which is Ivanka, plus the or gate. So 58 plus 33 comes to 91, Stargate. And if you add Stargate plus 17, the word 17, 109, comes to 200. There's a few things that are significant with 200. in regards to President Trump and Princess Diana, and I'll just mention them briefly. So Princess Diana, if you do the numbers, so 200, she was buried in Westminster Abbey. Sorry, not buried there. Her funeral service was supposed to be at Westminster Abbey. Westminster comes to 165, which comes to resurrection. Abbey comes to 35. Add them together, it takes you to 200. If you spell the words 200, you have 2, which again is 58, which is Star, which is Ivanka, which is Nasara. And if you do 100, it's 74, which is Jesus. President Trump's age is 74. Messiah is 74. London is 74. The action and word point is 74. You've got 1.21 gigawatts in Back to the Future, but you add those together, takes you to 132. 132 comes to Princess Diana. And then if you go on the other side, in terms of 200, so if you just have 100, so the word 100 comes to, again, 74. If you have 2 of them, that takes you to 148. People call me numbers, but technically I'm doing simple gematria. There are other versions of gematria, but the one I do is A through to Z or Z, 1 to 26. A is 1, B is 2, C is 3, D is 4, etc., etc. If you do simple, the word simple is 74, which is Jesus, which is Messiah, which is Trump's age. If you do gematria, it's also 74. So there's the 2 values of 100 there, which come to 148, which comes to Donald J. Trump, also comes to Emmett Brown from Back to the Future. So it's just some things that came to me while the 3 of you were talking. And I loved the bit about the hummingbird, because that makes me think of a few relatives, particularly my cousin Paul with 118. Yeah, amazing. All these things, the synchronicities always happen when we're talking. It's a beautiful thing. So thank you all for your experience with the hummingbirds. That's awesome.
So and then with these numbers, when you say these numbers, there's the gematria, it is also light codes, right? So light codes. So 118 is a 1. That's a 10, which is a 1. And March is in the Lemurian calendar is the birth sign of the turtle, and that's the 10th month of the Lemurian, and that's a 1. So we're coming, we're completing going from March. We went from February, which is the hummingbird, into the turtle. The turtle brought and revealed so much out of its cosmic knowledge. As the essence of the turtle is cosmic knowledge, and it bringing in they say the turtle is slow on land, but underwater it's super fast, and it's incredible being, right? The turtle. So we're in that month where these incredible light codes in gematria is coming through, aligning to April. Now, April 1st in the Lemurian calendar is the smiling gecko. And when I say receive in April, I sometimes share that the smile is coming. In the cosmology, I say the smile is on its way. What does that mean? Well, the light being that has powerful dragon energy behind it, the powerful energy is behind the smile, what a smile brings. And that smile is on its way. So there's light codes in what you're saying in the gematria, in the numerology, and there are also dates in there too. So thank you. It's amazing.
I thought about something you just said. So I've been thinking lately that the worst part about the masking, I'm in New York City, so it's not like you drive somewhere and you're going to see somebody with a mask on. You walk out your door, it's all over. And I was just saying to somebody, I thought the saddest part about the mask was you haven't seen anyone smile in a long time. And I mean, I don't wear a mask, so I've been purposely making eye contact and smiling at people lately, just because I feel like don't people realize what they took from us? Not what they took, what we gave them was our smile and the power of the smile. And I've honestly, that you brought that up is really amazing, because I've been thinking more and more about what we gave up that in this past year, in whatever way people did. The whole masking to me has always been a form of control and keeping us from communicating with one another on any level. And I've just been thinking how sad it was that, I don't see people's faces anymore, let alone their smile. And a smile can change a whole day. I mean, I've been proving that for years. I used to do it all the time, just like try to make eye contact and smile at people that look miserable on the street. But now with the mask, it takes on a whole different level. And I swear, I mean, you guys know, but just smiling at somebody in a genuine way that acknowledges like that they're important, and you're acknowledging them, they're acknowledging you, really can change somebody's whole day and their whole energy, and turn things around for people without doing anything at all except for a natural expression. And I really feel like that's been robbed from people in this past year for whatever reason. And like you said, I think April 1st is a pretty important day as well. Also, it's Passover and Easter and Torah this week and the New Testament next week, and that's what I'm looking at, and all different stuff. And then, I was thinking really a lot about they can't steal our smiles anymore. I want our smiles back, and that's interesting that you would say that.
Yeah, it's so the Gregorian calendar and the Jesuit program and all of this, and Satan's shoes from Nike, ley lines that have been poisoned with certainly the 33rd degree parallel ley line. That's a big one, right? That has the Vatican on it. It also has a whole bunch of very important locations.
Which one is that, Huna? Say again, please.
33rd degree parallel.
33rd.
So that's where the Vatican is, on the 33 ley line, yeah.
So it's also where Stargate number 1 is, in Corona, New Mexico, right? And this is why it's very important. That particular Stargate number 1 is the frequency of the child of light. And so now this smile, talk about smile, right? This burning mask, you talk about masks, right? The burning mask that I'm hoping.
I'm coming.
We're going to be there. Huna.
We are too.
Right. This Stargate is incredible. Many years ago, when I did my first retreats, was inside of Hummingbird Ranch in Santa Fe, New Mexico. Hummingbird Ranch was owned by Makasha Rosk and Catherine Ross. They were the partner founders of Live Aid back in '84, and they owned this ranch. And so they asked if I would come to a retreat. The first time I ever started sharing out in the open, in person. So I do this, and I'm working with the Apache chief, Bear Paul. He's the paramount chief of the Chiricahua Apache Nation, which is all around Corona and all around Arizona, as you know. And so he and I doing our thing, and I do a ceremony for him called the Living Light, Seal of the Living Light. And he's all lined up as a Huna. That same weekend, I do an activation for the Stargate. Just kept calling in from the turtle. So it's actually Stargate number 1 is on Turtle Island, which is Honu, which again, March, the turtle was calling in the Stargate and the location. So I started setting up the burning mask, actually from a year ago. It was calling in, and then now here it is now. And that Stargate is where this frequency of the child of light is. Why? Because in this ceremony that's part of burning mask is the coronation ceremony. The ceremony to crown them all. It's part of the formalities and the beautiful celebration is the coronation ceremony. Now I have my brother, Dwayne Yazzie. He's the president of Shiprock Nation for the Navajo Nation. He's confirmed he's arriving. One of the elders from the Mohawk Nation from Gakawage, which is upstate New York and up near Quebec. We all have strong relationships with the Mohawks. They're coming. So we got Mohawks coming. We got the Navajo coming. Possibility of the chief from the Apache Nation to arrive, but we also have confirmed Reynolds Kamakavivioli, which is a kahuna from Big Island. And his nephew is Israel Kamakavivioli, that song that he made famous somewhere over the rainbow, right? Now, that's his nephew. And this is a very well-known kahuna. We're all coming to do the ceremony and anchoring the child of light frequency into that ley line, into the 33rd degree parallel.
Wow.
Right? So this is what the turtle's been asking, been calling in and aligning up. And of course, as you know, I was in the Vatican last year doing recoding and reprogramming at the obelisk, at the obelisk in the Vatican last September, right? And all of these things, all of this recoding, reprogramming with the agendas, anything that the Gregorians say, anything that the scopes of horror, that these zodiacs are saying a program to flip them 180 degrees, and you'll get the truth. So while they're trying to code things, we're just coding them back and reversing it. That's actually a technical thing that's actually happening. That is actually happening and you're confirming with the light codes and the gematria and your experiences you're having on the ground today. And so today, what is today? It is March 30th today. And an important light code to be here with you to share with everybody today. Now, anyone listening here, what Brother Jay was sharing in the practices, well, have a practice. Find a practice. If you have one, great. I'm going to share this timing on your practice. This light code, 7 in the morning or 11 in the morning, 7 in the evening or 11 in the evening. There's 4 time light codes for you to go into your moment. And this is a very powerful moment, especially now. There's a very powerful time light code to be speaking your highest intention. This way, we're confirming the technical support for your prayers, for your intention. We're going to be there with you. That's where I typically drop my light codes in. And so very important to do that practice. And come to Burning Mask. It's going to be incredible. No drugs, no plant medicine, no oil of essence, no marijuana, nothing, just light technology from you and your highest intention. It's going to be supported by the earth elders that are there. And it's in alignment with the celestial elders. So we're in alignment with the technical support in our higher dimension and our higher selves. Absolutely. Yeah. And so take that mask and
burn it.
You can burn it. If they have a problem with fire and flame, we're actually going to be creating a projection screen with a face on it that has a burn, and we're going to use light. We're going to use light, and we've actually got a Stonehenge Stargate system set up, 4 gates, and each gate's going to have a big, huge projector screen on it. So you'll be surrounded. The cardinal directions are going to have this burning mask on it to represent and engage the energy, to energize your intention, right? And so talk about speaking to the mask. Now, Tom, did you find any numbers in that one?
I did. So, Mel, you were talking about the smile, Yeah. And how you're the only one lighting up New York and keeping it alive. So brilliant for that. But so smile comes to 58. And just prior to that, I was talking about 58 is Ivanka. And it's also Nasara. So perhaps when the masks finally go, when all of this is ended, because President Trump said, we will end the pandemic. So whenever that is, he will end it. And literally, I think it will probably just happen overnight. Maybe there'll be 1 or 2 still wanting to hold it, but, it will be over. And so metaphorically, that will go. Physically, it will go. And people's smiles will return. But smile does come to Nasara, which is what we're all looking forward to, And it comes to your power, Ivanka. So, all those, it's all good. It's all good. And it also comes to star, as in Stargate. So smile, star, Ivanka, Nasara are all 58, which is a mirror of 85, which he said was humming, which is silver, which is matrix, which is, all the good stuff, So, yeah.
Fantastic. Yes, smile. I'd like to share about Saturn and about Jupiter. Can I do that?
Sure.
Yeah.
Now,
Saturn's 93, Jupiter's 99. Patriot and floaters. Bushnell as well. Yeah.
Again, all energies had been they tried to hijack them, right? They tried to say Saturn is Satan when it actually is not.
Yeah, it's not.
Higher light vibration that's quite, maybe because we share, you flip everything back. When Aquarius came in, when the hummingbird came in, Saturn and Jupiter came, they're in the house of the hummingbird right now for the next 20 years, right? Or maybe 22 years. I'll say 22. Saturn and Jupiter they're known as the kingmakers. You heard that cosmology, okay? What we're sharing,
kingship comes to 93, Huna. So the word kingship comes to 93, which comes to Saturn.
And so
Comes to Flotus, comes to Nazareth, comes to Bushnell, comes to Justin, Olympic. Sorry, continue, but yeah.
Yeah, so here's another side of that. We share that in the Lemuria, the way to speak Saturn and Jupiter is pa-re-ro. Pa means the kingdom, home. Pa means home, P-A, pa. Not, well, it could be Pittsburgh, could be Pennsylvania. It's pa. And re means royal or royal family or royalty. Or they say re in the Italian, in that we roll the R, re. And then ro means the expansive space, means expanse, which is sky father. So you have the kingdom of home, which is Mother Earth and Pa. You have the royal family at the center, and then you have sky father. So you have Earth Mother, Sky Father, and you have the royal family. That's been happening with these energies of Saturn and Jupiter, actually bringing in the light and recognizing the humans as a royal family, all humans as the royal family. And that's not being shared because, again, when you go to the Gregorian agendas and the calendar of Gregoria, you're only going to see Saturn as being the lords of karma, blah, 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 and all of that. When we know that's been manipulated, because even before the Greek, there's the Egyptian. And in the Egyptian, which is where Christianity comes from, in the Kemet, Saturn is the Satan, or Satan doesn't come from, that word doesn't come from the dark side. It comes from, he was, I think, a king, Satin, I think is how you say it, or Satan, which is one of the kings or pharaoh in Egypt. And then that was taken over to, again, manipulated. So you have to go, right? If you go back to Atlantis, you make your way from Egypt back to Atlantis, you'll find that these things have a lot of life in them, except the agendas from the families and their rituals decided to flip everything and bring it into the modern world and use that. And so we just recode everything back. And know for everybody who's watching that, again, when you hear these words, Satan or Saturnia, right? Saturnia is where Christmas evolved out of, and Jupiter, Earth Mother, Sky Father, their energies are being linked to Earth and to humanity to bring about the light of the royal family. And of course, the abracadabra codes and Juicy and Lucy and Mark Edward and JC, they talk about the royal star and the royal family, and so they're the only other ones I've heard talk about it, but so do I, as these big energies are being brought back to the royal family. So if royal family, maybe you have a number for royal family, or
well, Royal is 71. Royal is 71, which is also, interesting enough, Suez, where the canal is. It's also Moses, Psych, as in my channel, Psych Club, Flynn, Lady Diana, Smart. They're all 71. And the other thing about Egypt, where that's going on right now, the word Egypt comes to 73, which comes to Joseph, also comes to children. And we're waiting to see what happens with that cargo ship. And the numbers on that, where it's been moved up to, Great Bitter Lake, Bitter comes to 74, Great is 51, Lake is 29. Add them together comes to 154, which comes to the revelation. So hopefully there will be a revelation. They'll open those tankers, and everything that the world needs to see, that we've all been talking a lot about, especially Mel in her time. People will start to see that, and we're coming into first light April 1st, And you said about PARS, is that PA? Is that PA?
Yeah, PA.
So PA. So P is 16th letter, A is the first letter, 16 plus 1 is 17. 17 Stargate. So, and then the flip of 17 is 71, which is Royal, which is Suez, which is Smart, all of those things. So it's everything, the numbers are just reconfirming everything that you're saying,
Absolutely. It's multiple dimensions. So really grateful for these sharing. Is that tanker, is it still stuck, or is because the lane media is saying
it's been freed, and they put it up into what they call the Great Bitter Lake, which is kind of like a lake area. It's not the canal, and then the canal continues further up. But I've been what I've read is they've got it over there now, and the Egyptian president or prime minister has said, no, we need to investigate. And so that's all part of the narrative, you know, for them to go on board and
So it's
take,
been,
you know,
it's been free.
what they said. Yeah, it's been freed. Yeah.
We talked about that
freed.
last night. Juan and myself and Michael talked about it last night. There's a lot of symbolism in the Hollywood media. I'm sure you know this, Mel. Even with Dexter, you know, when Dexter had a show. Yeah. So Evergreen, you know, there's the symbology, I think, behind it is that, you know, kids are in those container ships. This is how they've been transporting, you know, human cargo.
Right.
For a long time, unfortunately. And so I do think that there is something more to that. It's getting closer to a head. I think, and by the way, guys, I have to unfortunately get off this call in 2 minutes because I have a business thing that I have to attend to. But I just want to say first off that I think that all of us energetically feel that something very, very big is coming. We've all felt this now for a long time. I mean, Huna, when Huna was on the tribe about a month and a half ago, he talked about, you know, the calendar switching over. Actually, you were on about 2.5 months ago. It's time is just blowing through right now. But I think that something has to happen to awaken the people that Mel was talking about when she first came on the show, the people that are stuck, you know, down here below the line of integrity and that like intellectual rigor. And their reality is skewed to, you know, delusion. Right. So there has to be a grand awakening event, again, in my opinion, that will galvanize enough people to realize that this planet needs to heal and that we all have to heal the collective trauma that so many people have, you know, engineered, or not just engineered from the elite standpoint, but have endured. And as you said, Huna, many lifetimes, many cycles, many existences have led us to this moment right now. So it's going to take all of us in this event, whatever it may or may not be, to come together as a species. It's, you know, it's not about obviously white, black. It's not all this colorization and this racial divide nonsense that they're attempting to continue to divide us, and just recognize our true power is in our unity.
Yep.
And I think we're this close. And there is going to be something, and it could be Little Green Men. It could be Project Bluebeam. I mean, it could be a lot of things that, you know, may galvanize, but it's just my opinion that we're this close, and all of us as leaders in this community of truth and wisdom have to hold the light, as Huna said, you know, be the keepers of the light and the bringers of the light, and continue to connect and continue to be that loving, you know, higher vibration of, you know, allowance and acceptance. And just accept that, you know, this is our mission now, and nothing else can get in the way of that. So, you know, that's my final statement. I send you guys tremendous love and light. I appreciate that I was on the show here today. Huna, you and I need to talk in the next couple of days, because we're definitely going to organize a big optimized tribe thing around this. I know Mel's going to come too. So Mel, I'll talk to you too. Yeah. So we want to bring a bunch of people to this, but I got to jump off right now. So I will talk to you very soon.
Do you have 2 seconds? I want to just share just 2 seconds to share this, the first edition of the calendar with you. Can you see that? This is the first edition that came out, and if you can see, I don't know, can you see that? Okay.
I see it. Yep.
Right. This is when it first got reintroduced, when I first introduced it back in, and I'll share this image to everybody, even to you, Dave, when you go. The top is the Lemurian calendar. The bottom is the Gregorian, and it shows all the codes, light codes, symbols, light language, frequency of masculine and feminine, and the crystals that helps to transmute the codes from what was laid upon society, the historic governance and the manipulation of the day codes, specifically the manipulation of the day codes. And so I just wanted you to see it as you're heading out of this portal right now, this light portal. And really thank you very much for joining us today. I really look forward to, we got to talk. We've got we got sound and stage and lighting to set up for Burning Mast. We have a couple of areas. We have a couple of pavilions, an incredible design for the Stargate Sacred Circle, and the elders are coming in. who you would like to interview and on your go live from Stargate 99.
Amazing.
And
All right, guys. I'll be in touch. You guys have a fantastic day. Tom.
Bye,
nice
Jay.
to
See you
Take
soon.
care, Mel.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
and,
That's amazing.
Yeah, this is.
I need to go as well, Huna, because my battery's low. I'm here in the park,
Oh, yeah?
and that's why it
Okay.
kept flashing. Yeah, so
Well, I
we'll
guess.
catch up.
Well, I have one coming up, so maybe we should say something to end it in a good way.
Oh, good. Yes.
yeah,
What we can complete with here is smile and get ready to receive.
smile and receive.
From April onwards.
And Mel, let me give you a call just after.
Yeah,
that
we'll
if we
talk.
can,
Yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
yeah.
Huna, you and I also need to do a one-on-one, and I'm so grateful. Listen, just knowing that you're out there gives me a lot of strength, for real. You are I can feel your energy all the time, and it's just been a hard month to connect, but I feel you connecting with me. I swear, every time I see you, it's exactly when I need to feel better. I get a text. It's been a true anchor for the last 3 weeks. It's been really hard, and knowing you're out there and our pending get together and conversations keep me going. You're such a light, and so it's all pure love, and I'm so grateful to be in your world, and I cannot wait to see you in real life at the Burning Mask, because I'm so grateful, because I know you're out there, and I know you're praying for me, because I can feel it, and it's such a gift. Thank you so much.
I'll be on with Magenta Pixie tomorrow. So if anybody happens to catch that, this is going to be incredible sharing that she's aligned to as well.
Oh, great. You're such a gift. You really, really are such a gift to everyone that you touch. And I'm really grateful to be here. You too, Tom. You and I have a number of appointments.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll call you.
Thank you, guys.